Welcome to Techzine TV.
Welcome to Techzine TV. We're at SAP Connect in Las Vegas, and we're talking to Jan Gilg. He's a Chief Revenue Officer at SAP. Every cloud application is adopting AI, so is SAP.
Yes.
Every business application is getting AI, and it's going to be the future of business applications, basically. It will also change the way we use all these applications. You've shown a lot during these 2 days, and I'm here. But when I talk to most of the enterprises running SAP, they come back with what they still have.
Mm-hmm.
And I still hear a lot of ECC migrations to HANA, and it's hard and it's time consuming. And I just wonder, where are the AI innovations helping those customers move to the cloud?
No, and that's a great question. And, we tend to talk about those AI use cases of primarily from what's in the product and how does it help, to unlock some outcomes and value for customers. What we need to talk about more is really how do we use AI also in the tooling that helps customers to get there, right? And to your point, there's many customers that are still sitting on old ECC systems on-premise, and they all subscribe to the fact they want to move to the cloud. They want to move to the cloud with SAP, but they also ask for help to get there and cut the project time down, cut the cost down. And that's where we have been investing quite a bit over the last couple of years in what we call an integrated tool chain, to really look into, the business processes that customers run compared to best practice processes, architecture, documentation through LeanIX. So how does an enterprise architecture look like? How is it going to evolve in the times of AI first and the business suite, all the way to implementation tooling with cloud ALM, to testing tools, migration tools. Some of them are coming from partners, and all of them are pretty much infused with AI in order to accelerate things like data migration or custom code refactoring. So I think this is moving pretty fast in my mind. We just released Joule for Developer, which allows customers also in the ABAP world, which is proprietary to SAP, to generate code, to refactor existing extensions. And I believe we will see more and more advances in those areas as well over the next couple of months that help customers actually exactly take that step much, much faster and hopefully cheaper.
So you do have solutions available to
Yeah.
help with migration. Because when I talk to the customers, they always talk about a lot of manual labor, data entry work, redeveloping. Are you not vocal enough about these AI solutions? Or are they really expensive, that are not affordable for everyone? Do you know what's going on there? Because I can see you want to move faster, you want to help these organizations, but when they're still stuck in these old legacy systems, it's also a bit like I went to the CX keynote, and it was all about customer retention and there is some friction there, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's sometimes I feel almost like misunderstood what RISE actually is, because often it's a perception. RISE means move ECC to S/4HANA. And at the end of the day, yes, at the core, we are moving ERP into the cloud for the customer, but RISE is so much more, because RISE does include the tooling that I mentioned before. It does include a methodology. It does include the way of, moving a landscape to what we call clean core, getting rid of customizations and so on. And we need to talk much more actively about that. And I agree with you there. It's probably still not known enough, because sometimes it gets so reduced to just ECC to S4 conversion that this aspect of it, which is the transformational aspect, gets completely lost. And which is unfortunately also for us, because we've spent a lot of R&D money into that, building those tools, working with our partners to make an offering to customers that really should help them in their transformation then eventually. And part of that is, of course, then also the move from ECC to S/4HANA.
Yeah, because you have tooling to get the old code refactored in S/4HANA.
Yes.
Basically, and not in the core again, but in an external one.
Yes.
Extend the platform, right?
Yes.
And you also have tooling to get rid of the data entry, to take the data out and optimize it and add information to it from other.
And frankly, that is one of the prerequisites. If you want to run AI on top of this, you need to have clean data. This move from ECC to S4 is often then combined by customers with an initiative to clean the data and run a data management project, which in my mind is really a super critical component of any of those transformational projects. And with that, of course, help customers to make it easier, but also set them up that they can then actually consume some of the AI capabilities and innovation on top of their data set. And in terms of the extensibility, that's of course a big topic. What do customers do with the extensions they have built? There's tools, first of all, that look into what is superseded by capabilities that are in the standard. So delete this, just use the new capability that's there. Second, custom code analysis, what is not even used anymore. So it's just dead wood, to get rid of it when you move over, don't carry it with you. And then there's still a piece that's definitely extensions that are valid, where customers then have to decide, did I extend a process that's really not differentiating for me, and maybe I go back to a standard process, get rid of the customization. Means, of course, change management, because it changes the way then the end user works, or it's really differentiating. And then we offer a very prescriptive guideline on how to refactor that code then, so it is what we call clean core compliant. So it is upgrade stable. So we can upgrade the system without any breaking everything, which is super important. One of the reasons why customers often get stuck on old releases, because it's so hard then to upgrade them. And that last piece is something where we continue to look into tools like Joule for developers to automate then the actual refactoring process, to refactor the code into something that's clean core compliant, whether it's embedded on ABAP or on the business technology platform side by side. Both are possible options.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tooling available. You're now going for clean core, which is kind of the industry standard. Everybody is going to a fit to standard principle. Because then you can innovate faster and add AI, etc. I get that. I do want to go back a bit. Like, do you have an idea why so many organizations are struggling with these migrations? Is it just because it's so hard? Is it because the tooling isn't well known, or it's pretty new? So most of them started the migration already, and the tooling came later.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one reason that we had many customers starting very early. Keep in mind, S4 came out in 2015, and many customers moved. That was on premise still, right? So they moved basically from ECC to S4, and that's the heavy lift. And so there, the tooling was very in its infancy, I would say, and there was not so much emphasis on it. What happened in the last 2 years, I would say, is really a big leap that happened.
There's an end date coming as well for support.
Well, yeah, that's true. But even from a technology perspective, what has happened or unfolded in the last 2 years with AI, I mean, it's pretty unprecedented. So I don't think that is all yet known, because also it moves so quickly. Partners have invested heavily, we have invested, and the tooling, the integrated tool chain is nowadays in a much different stage than it used to be even 2 or 3 years ago. So I think this needs to become more the forefront on how we talk about it, but also for our customers to realize they might have looked into this 5 years ago and they said, oh, this is way too much effort, I'm not going to do it. They should look again and reassess and really see what's now available from a technology perspective that could help them.
And if they're now in the middle of a migration and it's a lot of headache, can they still?
They can still, of course, they can still change course. And I mean, I know many specific large companies. If you think about it, they don't have one ECC system. They sometimes have 100, right? And then they have this distributed globally, and typically they have rollout plans that span over years. And pretty much every one of them is coming now and says, okay, how can I accelerate this? Because my plan is to roll this out until maybe sometimes even 2030. Can I do this maybe till 2028? This would save me a lot of money. So for them, even though they might have started already, there's still a possibility to now leverage what's available to shorten the overall rollout time.
Do you think the cost can be lower as well, since it's a lot of data?
It has to be.
And a lot of manual hours. And if you automate it,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, we have the biggest interest that SAP projects become shorter and cheaper, yeah, for sure. Because at the end of the day, we need customers to be in the cloud with us. We need them to consume the innovation that we develop because we believe it creates value for them. And we don't want them to spend the money on lengthy projects and upgrades. So.
Yeah, you say something interesting here, because during the start of this event, you sent out a press release stating that it's the end of the best of breed era, and it's now best of suite. So you kind of expect customers to go all in SAP, to take all your business application. But if they just came out of a very frustrating migration, how likely is it that they want to go all in? That's a bit of.
I think on the one hand side, of course, we want to show that it's beneficial. If you run multiple SAP solutions, you should have a much better experience in terms of integration and data harmonization and what you can do then on top of it. But of course, it does require us, and that's why we invest so much into methodology, tooling, and so on, that we really make the initial move of the ERP core solution as fast as possible, right? So then frees up also funding for customers to invest in more of SAP, and also them then looking at us as somebody who can help them innovate in supply chain, in procurement, in finance, above and beyond the core ERP. And so I think that is really the perception that we want to change, that we are not just quote unquote an ERP company, but really a company that can help customers to run more productive, but also grow and really innovate with them. And that is only possible, to your point, if we can help them free up some of the budget that might have planned for the pure migration of ERP to the cloud. And that's why we are focused so much on that.
And if we look at AI and ERP, do you think ERP is going to change a lot over the next few years, with AI being added on top of it or integrating in it?
Yeah, I think it's two things. So one is that ERP processes often are commodity processes where customers then really go much more for a standard. And those standard processes then, of course, create very valuable data, which really explains how a company runs. And then on top of that data, we will see a new breed of intelligent applications that can help customers do things that they can't do today. And so ERP itself becomes definitely kind of this engine that's still needed, but the innovation will sit on top. And I think it will be much more accessible because of the new user experience that comes through things like Joule as a digital assistant, rather than somebody logging into a web screen and then putting data into the system. I mean, that's really the past. You still need the system underneath as a system of record that keeps everything in compliance and consistent. But the way users interact with the system will fundamentally change, and the capabilities, the intelligent capabilities on top, they will change quite significantly in my mind.
Right.
So it's really a shift from process to data and intelligent on top.
Okay. Thank you for the conversation.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
Thank you for watching Techzine TV. We'll be back with more from SAP Connect.
Thank you for watching Techzine TV, the channel about enterprise technology that brings you IT insights and analyses from events all around the globe. We cover everything, everywhere. Visit techzine.eu for more written in-depth articles and analysis, or keep watching techzine.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels and share your favorite videos with your colleagues. We'll see you soon.